Hello everyone and welcome to my video on a full guide on the changes coming to Stamblades in Elsweyr patch. In this video I'm gonna show you the build, the changes that's been happening to the build, comparisons, my own opinion on the skill changes, how much the nerfs actually impact the Stamblade playstyle, medium versus heavy, and everything else you need to know about the next patch. So to start off with, I'm gonna show you the primary build I'm gonna run next patch, and it's still just Shacklebreaker, Spriggan, Bloodspawn, just because this is the most stat-dense setup you can run. For Duels you can replace Shacklebreaker with Bone Pirate. I wouldn't recommend doing that in open world because magic sustain is just so much superior in open world. You can just kite people and do crazy stuff with it. So yeah, what I changed about my build in comparison to the last patch is that I'm running a sharpened mold Frontbar with double dot poisons, as you can see. Because this is the most damage I can get on my Frontbar, simple as. Next patch you're gonna value burst damage a lot more than pressure damage because your major defiler is gone, so that artificial pressure damage isn't there anymore. Double dots really do their job really well when it comes to pressuring your target. The reason why I do not run Nirn on my front bar is because I run Vigor on my back bar, and even if you bar swap cancel Vigor on the back bar, the weapon damage bonus of your Nirn on your front bar doesn't affect the already ticking Vigor, even if you bar swap cancel it. It just doesn't increase the ticks of your Vigor. So realistically, when people say that they run Nirn on their front bar for the heal, they only mean they want to have their rally tick for higher numbers. But I do not think that's worth it at all, because I already have double dot poisons and I have already all that damage ticking, and sharpened is just about more damage than Nirn overall. I'm gonna run 2.4k, almost 2.5k stamina recovery without leeching strikes on my front bar. As you can see, I replaced my before CP and put them to tumbling, some into tenacity, bashing focus, and warlords. So I'm still gonna experience the loss of minor endurance, but not as much, especially because we got to Reef as a passive on Incap. Since we got the 50% mitigation bonus on our Grim Focus, what I'm also gonna do next patch is gonna try to replace Bloodspawn with Velidreth on my front bar, and when you do that, make sure to trade one infused weapon damage ring for one robust stam recovery ring, so you can keep that sustain up. Why do I not go with Slimecraw instead? Because Slimecraw is getting outperformed by about 300 weapon damage, and Velidreth already gives me 129 weapon damage, plus a proc that is very strong, very lethal, so it's just simply better. Now I know people are gonna suggest running Nightmother's Gaze instead of Spriggan on my front bar, but that's just false and it's bad. Why? Because Spriggan still gives me more damage than Nightmother's Gaze, because we are running a mole on front bar, and the flat penetration value we get from a mole on front bar gets lower depending how many penetration debuffs we have on our target. So for example, this patch I'm getting more penetration from my mole by about 762 flat penetration than last patch when I had Major Fracture on my surprise attack. Considering that, Nightmare's Gaze also has 2 lines of crit chance, which in my opinion is a pretty terrible stat line to begin with. So Spriggan not only gonna give you more potential damage because of 2 lines of max damage instead of crit chance, it's also gonna provide you more healing. Now let's move on to a part of my build that has really changed this patch, which is skills. Now the skill setup I run for Elsweyr patch is gonna be Relentless focus from bar, surprise attack, rally, Hysteria, Killer's Blade, Incap, Shadow Image Backbar, Poison Injection, Vigor, Shadowy Disguise, Shuffle, and Temporal Guard. You can replace Temporal Guard with Soul Siphon for Open World. It can save you so many times. It saved me so many times, and I genuinely fell in love with the skill. For Duels, I would only go with Temporal Guard. It's the only good option. Now, why do I not run Ambush instead of Relentless Focus? Well, simply as Ambush is a skill which delays your damage, because you have to apply it. It doesn't do much damage by itself, therefore you only use it to apply the Mind of Ability debuff. It delays your damage, it makes you predictable. When you ambush your target, you're gonna predict that your next move is probably gonna open up with an Incap, and that's something I do not want my targets to know. And simply, when you compare the damage potential of both of those skills, is like you get minor vulnerability from ambush, which is good. It improves the damage of all of your damage output by 8%. That's decent. But then again, you're missing the bow proc, which has a 18k tooltip on its own, which hits for around 7 to 8k, sometimes 10k on a target. So technically, on paper, if you hit a bow proc in your combo, you're gonna do more damage than your whole combo will do with minor vulnerability on your target. And also notice that ZOS nerfed the delay on the travel time of your bow proc. Therefore, bow proc is so much more reliable. You can actually do Incap in the bow proc in Elsweyr patch and it's gonna hit. And also like 50% mitigation is just absolutely crazy. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but in something I'm not gonna give up easily. Now, a fun fact about Relentless Focus is when you buff yourself up with Relentless Focus, when you get all the stacks, and even when Relentless Focus runs out, the duration just runs out, you still get the mitigation. So technically, when you're kiting with Relentless Focus, you don't have to waste stamina to reapply it, just for you to keep the mitigation. No, you can just let it run out, and you're still gonna have the mitigation needed. With that in mind, I'm probably still gonna run an ambush here and there, in open world only though. In Duels, Relentless Focus only. Surprise Attack is another skill that has been nerfed quite heavily. And it lost its major fracture, but we got a unique 5% less armor of your target bonus, which is kinda nice. And in reality, when people say that we lost 8% damage just by the loss of major fracture, that's not true at all. As you can see, Moss give you more flat penetration now that major fracture is gone, and a 5% less physical resistance on your targets is easy to apply because you don't even have to be directly behind your enemy's back to apply it. Now you can even stand like on the side of it and it's already gonna apply. So in reality, we only lost about 3 to 4% damage with the loss of major fracture on the Surprise Attack. So it's not that bad. And I run Killer's Blade as my execute instead of Leeching Strikes, which I ran previous patch. Why? Because we lost Major Defile, and pressuring down opponents is gonna be way harder. So for example, you fight a tankier target, for example maybe a Macplar, maybe heavy stem, stem decay, or even a mech decay, and you do a full damage combo on them. You land your Incap perfectly with a heavy attack, you land your Relentless Focus perfectly, but that's still not gonna kill them. Let's be real here. They're gonna be stuck at like 30% health, maybe 20, and what they're gonna do then is they're gonna be like, oh shit, now I need to block and heal up, and they're gonna do that if you do not have an execute, if you don't have anything to pressure them down with. We had that tool in the previous patch, which was Major Defile, which kept them from recovering, but this patch we do not have it anymore. Therefore, you need to finish them off quickly as possible. Therefore, I run Killer's Blade. I know other Stamblades still run Executioner because they think that's a better execute. It's easier to land, I give them that, but it's not a better execute. Why? Executioner does more damage than Surprise Attack at 35% health. Then Killer's Blade at 24% health does double the damage of Executioner. And Executioner just gets a little bit better than your Surprise Attack at 35% health. Now, the Incapacitating Strike change that we have coming for us in Elsweyr patch is something I am not a fan of. I'm not really too mad or too angry about the Major Defile removal. That's completely fine with me. What I hate about Incap is the silence we got for 3 seconds at 120 ult. And they made it so you can break it free, so it's basically, it's a stun, but it's a bad stun. You apply silence to a stamina character and they don't have to break free, simple as, because it doesn't disable them. So they can just like run around with the silence and get a 3 CC immunity after 3 seconds, and it's stupid. Magical characters, they're gonna get hit by the silence, they're gonna be like, oh shit, now I have to dodge roll, so they dodge roll all the follow-up damage I have prepared for them, and they're gonna break free and get 3 CC immunity for the next, after 3 seconds. So I noticed that being the case in Duels on PTS too. And what I felt like is Incap is a lot more stronger at 70 ult than 120 ult. Therefore, I would recommend all of you to avoid using Incap at 120 ult. It's stupid, I know, but that's how ZeniMax wants their things to work, I guess. Now, people are gonna ask me or a lot of other people, a lot of other Stamblade mains, how to fight Necros next patch. Because they're gonna think like the class is overpowered or something, but being a Stamblade or being a Medblade fighting against Necro is really easy. I'm not even gonna show you how to fight against them. I'm not gonna show you any sort of tactics or anything, because it's just stupid. As a Nightblade, what you have to do to kill a Necro in a duel is simply put your Reaper's Mark instead of your Execute, and you're done. Why? If Necros want to kill you, they're gonna have to prepare a Blast Bones combo on you, and then hope to burst you down. But that's never gonna happen if you have Reaper's Mark on. Why? Whenever you're gonna see Blast Bones, just put that stuff on the Blast Bones and you're gonna get a burst heal and Major Berserk for 5 seconds. So whenever they're gonna try to go for the burst combo, Reaper's Mark is gonna instantly burst heal you up after the Blast Bones, and you're gonna get a huge damage bonus for the next 5 seconds. I haven't lost a duel to a Necro with this ability yet. It's a very hard counter to them. Now, I wouldn't run the Reaper's Mark anywhere else besides if you know that you're gonna fight a Necro. Why? Because I do not like the skill. It has issues, like the base of the skill, the idea of the skill already does not fit a Stamblade. It just puts your burst combo, makes it very backloaded. Against the Templar, you're gonna have to reapply it every single time he purges, most likely, so that's stupid. Whenever you go for a combo on somebody in open world, you have to apply it. Okay, it doesn't cost Magicka anymore, but they're still gonna know that you're gonna go for the kill, and it makes it very predictable. The 5 seconds of Major Berserk doesn't really work anywhere besides when you fight a Necro and his Blast Bones just explodes. Because when you kill the target and you get the Major Berserk, then most likely your Incap isn't gonna be up and you're not gonna kill anything that is not a potato without your Incap. Now in my eyes, the biggest nerfs we're gonna receive next patch is the loss of Minor Endurance and Major Defile. Why Minor Endurance? Because I'm not sure how much stem recovery I'm gonna have to run. It's gonna be 2.7k instead of 2.5k, and I'm gonna feel it. Then I lost about 274 weapon damage, which is more or less the same amount of damage that we lost with Minor Berserk. And Major Defile, obviously, because we do not have the pressure anymore we had last patch. The matchups that changed the most with the loss of Major Defile are probably any heavy stamp tune out there and Mech Decays, maybe Mech Wardens. I wouldn't be so sure about Mech Wardens though, because Mech Wardens got their nerfs too. Stamblades in medium aren't gonna dominate Stem Decays as much as they did last patch. Stem Decays aren't gonna be unkillable next patch for a medium blade, but they're gonna be very hard to fight against, because they just have so much healing and you cannot negate any of it anymore. With that being said, medium Stamblade is still fine next patch and can still wreck people like nobody else, especially open world. Open world medium blade is still the king of 1vx.